Assalamu alaikum to some of you and peace to the rest of you. I want to put this message on two forms of social media. One is a form of media in which many of you personally know me, and most of you aren't Muslim, few of you are, but you're black, and the black community can benefit from this. And the second form of social media, many of you who are subscribers and followers, well, subscribers I should say, are Muslim. And I'm addressing the community directly anyway, so yes, our community, the Ummah, can benefit from it. The problem is that we are oftentimes a community that has put style over substance and form over function. And we are suffering greatly for this. And what I mean by this is that, well, I'll give an example. When I wasn't Muslim, I was just black, but not Muslim. And when I say black, I mean politically too. Fist in the air, conscious, woke, all that stuff. I was in high school and I noticed, not subconsciously, but very consciously, I noticed that my people tended to put form and style over function and substance. Meaning that with my people, you could very easily, without much of an effort, divert and distract my people from important issues if you entertained them, and you did it aesthetically pleasingly. I realized that if you entertained the masses of black people, you could lead them in any direction that was wrong. But if you educated them with facts and entertained them, you still could not lead a lot of them in the right direction. Just a few. Very few of them could do this. Malcolm had that gift because he could grab your interest and give you facts, and even then, not a lot of people followed him when he was alive. And then even when Malcolm X died, he had to be buried, his janazah and his burial had to be at a church and at a Christian cemetery because the Muslims, the real Orthodox Muslims, wouldn't touch him. These are the same Muslims that now look at Farrakhan and say that's not Islam. They're telling the truth. Farrakhan's religion is not Islam. These same Muslims today who are saying this also are following a religion that is not Islam. It's white supremacy. It's Wislam. And we ain't got no time or no room for that. And that's why I'm telling the Muslims now that we cannot be the people who put form over function and style over substance the way that the African American community has done. And the way that other African communities in the Americas have done, and even the way that many African communities have done. Putting form over function and style over substance has been a serious liability to us. And if you don't believe me, Muslims, look in the black community and see why R. Kelly remained as popular as he did. Now, we are pretty sure now at this point that R. Kelly is a borderline pedophile. I say borderline because he likes them past puberty, but he likes them a tad bit too young. So he's not a physical pedophile, he's a mental pedophile. But we had evidence of this. We heard rumors, and a lot of us didn't believe the rumors, which is okay, you give the benefit of the doubt, but many of us had information to corroborate these rumors and still supported and listened to him because he could sing. This nigga got away with nasty pedophilia because he could sing. Black folks, well, he was probably one of the most disgusting cases, but he wasn't the only one. And in every black community, you can, in the U.S., you can go somewhere and you can find someone that is a butthole of low character, low morals, but he's a local celebrity for whatever reason, and people hold him up because he can entertain. My childhood enemy was one such person and probably still is. He was a coward, abusive, dangerous to anybody that did not strike fear into his heart physically. That's who this dude was. Well, guess what? This guy also He could kind of sing, he could definitely dance, and he was good at basketball. He couldn't rap, but he could dance and he was good at hooping. So these were entertainment talents in our community. So he was given a pass, despite being a known coward with no courage, and especially no moral courage. Which means you can't trust someone like this. Nonetheless, he was entertaining, and so he was supported. And every community's got someone like this, not just mine. You can find someone like that in Jackson, Mississippi. You can find someone like that in Nowhere, Alabama. You can find someone like that in Somewhere, Georgia. You can find someone like that in Crossroads, South Carolina. Every black community's got it. And the Muslims, now you're doing the same thing. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. The Muslims are allowing certain people to give them a choice. You can either confront social issues, but you are doing so under the leadership of somebody who has a defect in their Islam itself. Or you can take knowledge from someone who's very careful to not allow defective ideas into their understanding of Islam, except for one, and that is that they will never side with a victim against the oppressor. They do not advocate for social justice or societal justice. They don't do it. They don't take on any political issues. Just religious and spiritual and ritual issues. And so they become very, very astute at the rituals and all of the obligatory and optional rituals. And some things that are not clearly obligatory, they take as obligatory, like the face veil, for instance. There are such people. And then on the flip side, you've got the ones who, they may actually take something obligatory and make it optional. Allow certain changes into the religion itself, which is not allowed. But they're going to confront social and societal issues of injustice. And if you are oppressed, or you belong to an oppressed, marginalized group, and you want also to be a Muslim because you can see how it is the correct religion itself, you have to face this dichotomy. Why? Because the Muslims have put form over function and style over substance. If you decide to go that route with the ones who don't allow changes in the understanding of the religion itself, then you decide that you want to apply what you learned to be more fair and just across the board to anybody and not oppress people and not create victims of any sort. You are then opposed and ridiculed. This is what the Muslims have been doing. And now what I mean by that is this. I'll be honest and seriously. If you are a conservative Muslim, which could be a good thing, honestly, don't talk to me about the length of the thobe or the pants above the ankles. I don't want to hear it. Don't come and tell me that the niqab is fard and obligatory. The face veil, I mean. Or that women have to wear that, and they've got to wear gloves, and they've got to wear socks, no matter what the weather's like, and that's it. The most conservative interpretation is the only right interpretation. Don't come to me with that. And don't tell me about the optional 2 cycles of prayer you can say before the dawn prayer already. And specifically, what dua you got to say after each prayer if you really want to practice the sunnah. I don't want to hear all that. If you're one of those conservative Muslims who is showing the bottom half of their legs with the pants you're wearing and with a beard the size of the rest of your head, and I'm not making fun of these things, but if you're going to be that guy, or you're going to be that sister with the face veil and the gloves and the socks, in addition to the hijab, you got the face veil and the gloves and the socks. I respect those choices that you've made. However, I don't want to hear about all of these optional rituals and symbols. What I want is to see you be fair and just even when the society is against it. That's what I want to see. I want to see you confront the society for the un-Islamic customs and practices, especially the ones that affect other people's lives. I don't want to see you pitch a fit because the masjid is not full at Fajr time. I don't want to hear that. No, it's not going to be full at Fajr time. The dawn prayer before the sun comes up, no, it's not going to be full then. I don't think it's ever going to be that way. People got to work, always have had to work. You can talk about the time of the Sahaba, we're not the Sahaba. But what you can do is you can show the correctness of your way by attacking the marriage customs of the Islamic or the Muslim nations in which we now live. The marriage customs that make marriage prohibitively difficult and expensive for young people. Attack those. Go and tell the people, look, the dowries are too high, the expenses are too high. We need to make marriage simple. If you're not willing to do this, we will do it. And if you ridicule us, we'll ridicule you. This is what we need you to do. The Ummah does not need you to come and lecture us about anything that does not have a victim if it is violated anymore, until you start lecturing the society on how to make changes so that there will be no victims. We need you to confront the societal problems of cheating on exams in the Gulf nations, laziness in the Gulf nations by the citizens, not by the foreigners. The foreigners aren't allowed to be lazy. They're overworked sometimes. But the citizens are allowed to be too lazy and still collect their checks. We need you to confront these things. We need you to confront the tribalism that is a barrier to marriage. We need you to confront the colorism that is a barrier to unity. We need you to confront the classism. We need you to get in the Muslims' faces and attack the culture or the customs that are un-Islamic and that are causing unfair and undue hardship to other people. We need you to get on these issues. Yes, it's going to make you unpopular. That's the whole point. That's why this religion was revealed, so that you, the righteous, will be unpopular with the unrighteous, and you can be separate from them and be clear from them. If you get up and you tell the society, look, you fathers are making marriage too hard. You are oppressing your daughters and you're oppressing each other's sons with these outrageous conditions. You let your daughter decide the dowry. Your job is to check his character. That's it. You tell this to the society. The only people that are going to hate you for this are the fathers who are oppressors. If they're oppressors, you don't need their friendship and approval anyway. That's a bad sign. If you get up and you say, look, this problem of cheating is too big of a problem. The honest students who are not cheating are not able to find jobs because they're getting B's and C's, and the cheating students are getting A's and they're finding jobs first, and they're not reaching back and hiring the ones who are honest because they know this guy might learn something and show them up. We got a victimized society here. Stop this cheating. And you fathers, you need to stop defending your kids when they get caught cheating. Stop defending them if they actually got caught and you know they got caught cheating. Let them take the penalty. You should punish them yourselves. The only fathers and mothers that are going to have a problem with this are the ones who defend their kids when they're cheating. You don't want friends like that anyway. And the approval of somebody that ignorant should be a bad sign for you. You need to draw a cultural line in the sand between the righteous and the unrighteous. End of story. Until you do that, we don't need to hear a goddamn thing about how long somebody's stove is or how long someone's jeans are when they weren't even tailor fit in the first place, because people don't have the money to go out and get every pair of jeans or pants tailored to them. We don't need you to talk about the length of the beard and how long it should be, especially considering that not everybody can grow a long beard. We don't need to hear you talk about what dua you're supposed to say after each particular prayer. I mean, that's fine if you're teaching that and you're doing the other stuff, but if you're not confronting the un-Islamic and oppressive cultural norms, We don't give a rat's behind about these other du'a and all these optional things. We just need to know what is obligatory, which we do know, and then we need you to lead us in confronting the un-Islamic practices that harm people's religion in the first doggone place. That's it. That's all. We don't need you to defend the dishonest when they get caught being dishonest. We don't need you to try to make intercession for the ones who cheat on their exams and get caught at it. We don't need you to make intercession for the ones who cause a traffic accident, but then they cheat the other person out of their rights because the other one is a foreigner, but they're not guilty. We don't need you to go along with Desi or Arab customs that are un-Islamic, or any other customs from any other part of the world that are un-Islamic and are unjust and unfair. We don't need you to go along with these things. We don't even need you to be neutral and turn a blind eye to these things when you can see them. We need you to get in the faces of those who practice or defend these things and confront them. Then you can come back and tell us about all these optional rituals. We need substance over style and functionality over form. This is what we need. We need you to put the horse before the cart and stop putting the cart before the horse. At the end of the day, this is necessary, and if you can't do it, you can't help us. The black community can tell you what happens when you put your priorities in the wrong order. And the black community is beginning to fix itself in this regard. The Muslim community, I can't say that it is. It depends on location. But I'm going to tell you now, what this means is, all you super Salafis, if you can find something wrong, Islamically speaking, with something that Noman Ali Khan has said, but he's attacking societal injustices, then we need you to go and attack the same societal injustices, period. We don't need you to say, well, you all have abandoned you've abandoned Qiyam al-Layl and that's why you're going through this. Father Makkah, Qiyam al-Layl is an option. Standing in the last third of the night in prayer is an option. The 5 prayers are obligatory. The other prayers are optional. You have abandoned supplication. Okay, now you're getting somewhere, because even though supplication is optional, it is optional at any particular given time. It is, as we know, a norm. I mean, we know that it becomes necessary at different times of life. So it's better to do it before it becomes necessary than to wait until you have no other option. But then you want to sit up and say things like you have abandoned, and you name something that is optional, and you say that this is the reason that the Muslims are going through what they're going through and facing the societal injustices they're facing. No, that's not true. It's not the case. We could all supplicate right now, and the law would probably make the injustices so easy that we could fix them and correct them. That could be true. We could pray in the last third of the night, and I bet Allah would do that. But when you want to say that this has to be done, you want to turn and make the options into obligations without actually confronting the perpetrators of the societal injustices, then you got an issue. And that's what you all are doing right now. You know that oppressed minorities are facing troubles. You know this. You also know that many Muslims living amongst other oppressed minorities are not giving good dawah with their practices. You know this is going to be the case. You know that they're doing or saying things that are racist because of racist assumptions that they've made, even with no hatred. But they just made some racist or discriminatory assumptions and said things that are offensive. And while they're saying these things, you're not confronting them. This is the real truth of the matter. So we don't need you to sit up and tell us why Omar Suleiman is off the manhaj if you're not going to confront the issues he's confronting and explain the issues he's explaining and address the marginalized whom he is addressing. We don't need you to tell us what's wrong with Noman Ali Khan. And there may be something wrong, but we don't need you to explain that to us if you're not going to address the marginalized, unaddressed people that Noman Ali Khan is addressing. Don't tell us what's wrong with Farrakhan even though his religion is clearly off the wall and something else. Don't even tell us what's wrong with him if you ain't going to address the issues he is addressing. If you think you're going to solve institutionalized poverty with some obligation, with some optional rituals, you are insane. And we don't need you, really. Now, black folks, I'm going to record something for you later on, and I'm only going to put it, now I think I might put it on both forms of social media. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to record something to the black community about our children's perceptions of acting white. There's something very important about it. We know that there is that perception and it's wrong, but there's something about it we fail to realize. And since we've failed to realize something about that perception, I want to go ahead and address that in another recording, inshallah. I hope that this message has been of benefit to you. Assalamu alaikum.